ya? Welcome to Happy Rails to ya. My name is Hobo Pap, and I've been riding the rails looking for an adventure to share with you. Boy, have I got a story for you today. Let me find a place to rest these weary bones. We'll see what treasure I've got for you in my bindle. You know, my hobo sack. Come along. Welcome back to Hobo Pap's Hobo Jungle. In my search for this week's adventure, I ran across a railroad-themed book about everyone's favorite monkey and his friend, the man with the yellow hat. I bet you know exactly who I'm talking about. Of course, Curious George. Now, George was created by the husband and wife team of Hans Augusto and Margaret Ray while they lived in Paris, France, nearly a century ago. When they escaped Paris in 1940 on bicycles, they brought their first Curious George story with them and eventually came to America, where the first tale of what would become everyone's favorite monkey was published in 1941. Today's adventure is Curious George Takes a Train. As always, George's curiosity gets him into trouble, but in the end, he becomes a hero. Are you ready to see how this story unfolds? Come along, let's read. Curious George Takes a Train, written by Margaret and H.A. Ray, illustrated by Martha Weston. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. This morning, George and the man with the yellow hat were at the train station. They were taking a trip to the country with their friend, Mrs. Needleman. But first, they had to get tickets. Inside the station, everyone was in a hurry. People rushed to buy newspapers to read and treats to eat. Then they rushed to catch the trains. But one little boy with a brand new toy engine was not in a hurry, nor was a small crowd next to him. They were just standing in one spot, looking up. George looked up too. A train master was moving numbers and letters on a big sign. Soon the train master was called away, but his job did not look finished. George was curious. Could he help? George climbed up in a flash. Then, just like the train master, he picked a letter off the sign and put it in a different place. Next, he took the number 9 and put it near a 2. George moved more letters and more numbers. He was glad to be such a big help. "Hey," yelled a man from below, "I can't tell when my train leaves." "What track is my train on?" asked another man. "What's the monkey doing up there?" demanded a woman. She did not sound happy. The trainmaster did not sound happy either. "Come down from there right now," he hollered at George. Poor George. It's too easy for a monkey to get into trouble. But lucky for George, it's also easy for a monkey to get out of trouble. Right then the conductor shouted, "All aboard!" A crowd of people rushed toward the train. George simply slid down a pole, scurried over a suitcase, and squeezed with the crowd through the gate. There he found the perfect hiding place for a monkey. The little boy with the toy engine also ran through the gate. "Look, Daddy," he said, "a train!" His father looked up. "Come back, son," he yelled. "That's not our train." But it was too late. The gate locked behind him. The boy began to cry. George peeked out of his hiding place. He saw the boy's toy roll toward the tracks. The boy ran after it. This time George knew he could help. He leaped out of his hiding place and ran fast. George grabbed the toy engine before the little boy came too close to the tracks. What a close call! When the train master opened the gate, the boy's father ran to his son. The boy was not crying now. He was playing with his new friend. "So there you are," said the train master when he saw George. "You sure made a lot of trouble in the big board." "Please don't be upset with him," said the boy's father. "He saved my son." The people on the platform agreed. They had seen what had happened, and they clapped and cheered. George was a hero. Just then, the man with the yellow hat arrived with Mrs. Needleman. "It's time to go, George," he said. "Here comes our train." "This is our train, too," the father said. The little boy was excited. "Can George ride with us?" he asked. That sounded like a good idea to everyone, so the train master asked the conductor to find them a special seat. And he did, right up front. The end. That's Curious George Takes a Train. Boy, that was some story, wasn't it? Poor George. His curiosity gets him into trouble everywhere he goes, doesn't it? Even at the train station. Now, in this story, George was switching numbers on the train schedule in the train station. Have you ever heard of a train schedule? Well, this schedule helps passengers know what time the train is coming into the station and what time the train is planning to leave the station. This helps passengers be sure they don't miss their train, because when the conductor hollers, "All aboard!" and then the engineer eventually blows the call for signals whistles, the train is going to leave the station whether you're on it or not, so you better be on time. Now, we talk about it often, but once again in this story, we see the importance of railroad safety. Curious George was a hero in the end, as he saved the little boy when he was about to fall onto the train tracks when his toy engine fell on the tracks. Remember, never, never ever play around train tracks, as they are very dangerous and you could get hurt real bad. Well, that's it for this week. Until next time, so long. Thank you for joining me for today's adventure. I hope you enjoyed. Always remember, continue riding the rails of your imagination, as it will take you on an endless number of adventures around the world. Until next time, this is Hobo Pap saying so long, as I go hop on a rattler in search of our next adventure. Happy rails to you.